Welcome back to Ayaz. In this video, we are going to build the clone for the landing page of starbucks.com. So we will use purely HTML and CSS to complete this landing page. So let's begin. Let's create the folder structure and basic structure for the HTML, and then we will continue. First, we need to create assets folder. In the assets, we need to have images folder, and we also need another folder, CSS, and then we need a file, index.html. Okay, now we need to add basic base HTML code. If you are using VS Code, you can add all of this code with just a quick shortcut. Just type HTML and select HTML5. Click on this. It will automatically insert this piece of code for you. So right now this page is empty, and after some time it will look like this. So let's begin. So if you look at this page, uh, in this landing page we have header, we have some content, and we have the footer here. So we will first prepare the footer, header and footer, then we will start working on the content of this landing page. So let's create the structure for the header footer. So we have two kind of footers, footer 1 and footer 2. So I will add ID with footer 1 and footer 2. Next, if we look at the header, this header has two columns in it, 1 and 2, two main columns. Next, we need a container for the right section of the menu of the header. We will create some helper classes. Uh, because we are going to use flexbox to align the elements here. So for that, d flex and then d and then we need justify content and okay. So now I'm going to add display flex here. And another class that we need to add is flex grow. Mm, we need to add display flex class to the main container, and we will add flex grow one to this one. So the meaning of flex grow one is that it will automatically increase its width to consume the available space. Okay, we have that text, but it is not aligned properly. So actually, this CSS is not working yet because we did not link the style sheet yet. Now, after saving it, it should work. Okay, so we need to add a minimum width to the this logo section, but before that we need to add a max width for it so that it could be in the middle of it of the layout. Right now it is consuming the 100% of the width of the body. So for that, let's add a div here, and I will add the class container, and this container would have a width max width 90%, margin auto. But now we have to move this display flex class from here, and we need to add it somewhere else. Okay, now you can see it is now in the middle. It is not sticking with the edges of the layout, edges of the body. And now we need to add a minimum width to the logo section. Uh, I can add any name to the ID for this div. For now, I will call it header call one. Call mean columns. Okay. Now logo and menu should be in one row. Uh, for that, I would add display flex property to the parent container of these two elements. Uh, I should have added it in the class attribute, not in the ID. Okay. Now logo and menu is in one row horizontally. And now we need to fix this one as well. I added display flex class on this one. Now these two elements are also in one row. After that, we need to push these elements to the right of the container. For that, we can add justify content flex end. That would push all of the content to the right side of the container of the element. So for that, justify content and would work. Yes. Okay. Now we need to add a border or a shadow below the header. For that, let's inspect. Okay. But before that, if you not have noticed that there is a margin around the header, we did not add any margin. So this margin is default margin that comes from the body. So you should remove it before starting the work on the layout. For that, type body margin 0 pixels. Okay, now it's fine. Now we need to add a minimum height to this header. For that, I'm going to get the height of this original website. So the height is 101. Okay, I have added the height, but the issue is that the content is on the top. The content should be aligned vertically in middle. For that, I would try to add display flex. Let's see if that works. Yeah, display flex worked perfectly. Now I need to add the box shadow below to the header. Okay, we have almost same kind of border that is in the Starbucks, but this is more dark and it is spreading more than the original one. So I'm going to reduce the spread. Okay, I think now it is looking better than before. And now we need to add the logo. For that, I'm going to save the logo. Actually, this is not a pure image. This is an SVG. So I can just copy this SVG from here. So to get the code of SVG, just click right on it and edit as an HTML. Copy the SVG. Now in the images, create a new file, type logo.svg and paste that code inside of it. Now we have this logo image that I can use in the image tag very easily. Okay, we have the logo, but width is too much. Let's see the width of the original logo is 51 by 51. Okay, now height is perfect. Next, we need to add the menu items. For that, inside the menu ID, I will create three links. First menu would be menu. Third one would be rewards. Second one is the reward, and third one would be gift cards. Okay, we have these, but these are not looking good. Obviously, we have to transform these letters to the uppercase with the help of CSS. For that, go to the menu section and type text transform uppercase, and then we need to remove the text decoration of the links and design them. Okay, now I need to change the color of the links. For that, color. Uh, if you want to use the exactly same color, for that, right click on the menu item in the original website and just pick it from there. So for example, I want to pick that color. For that, go to the computed and you can copy it from here. Okay, I have added the color and the color has been changed, but font family is not good, so it should be almost same like this. For that, let's experiment with some available font families from the browser. Uh, let's use uh, okay, I will use sans serif for now. Now we need to align it vertically in middle. So for that, uh, I would add display flex to it. But actually, we already have a class with the display flex. I would add that class. And after I have added that class, I don't need to add the display flex again in the CSS. Now we need to add height 100% to the menu. Actually, height is already 100%. Now I just need to vertically align it to the middle. For that, I need to create another helper class for about the flex. Uh, justify align items align item center. So this is the style for the flex element. So if you add this class, then it will align the element to the middle vertically. All right, it is in the middle now. Now we need to add a little bit margin to the right of the logo. For that, I'm going to create another helper class. MR means margin right 10. So I have added the class. Now I can attach this class to the logo. This is still not enough, and let's add another helper class 50. Now I will add this class to this element, and 50 pixel would be applied to the margin right. And I think this is sufficient now, but uh, still the issue is that the menu links are, there is no space between menu items. For that, we need to add a gap. There is a very useful style in the flex box, that is flex gap display. Sorry, flex. Actually, it is just gap, I guess. Yeah, just gap 10 pixels. So this gap style works only with the flex style. So if you have added display flex to the element, then this would work. Now I'm going to attach this class to the. Okay, we have a gap of 10 pixel between every item, but I think the gap is still more than that than we added. For that, let's try to add 20 pixels and let's see if that works. We are adding these helper classes so that we could reuse them instead of creating them from scratch. Okay, now next thing, I want to make them bold. For that, you can just add strong tag to every menu. Okay, now these are bold. And next thing is that we need to show the green color by hovering on these menu items. For that, copy this and add hover after that and change the color. Let's pick the color that we want to show. We want this green color. Uh, I am going to activate the hover effect so that it could show me the color of the hover state. This is the color. I'm going to pick it and paste it here. Okay, next thing I think is that the font size should be a little bit smaller, and there should be 1 pixel letter spacing between the characters of these words. For that, uh, I'm going to reduce the font size to the 18 pixel maybe and add the letter spacing 1 pixels. It is now larger than before. I'm going to reduce it to the 14 pixels. I think it is fine now, and the color is also being changed on hover. So, but this is not smooth effect in a original website. It is it is also not smooth, but we can improve it actually. The better approach is to add a transition on the link. For that, add transition all 0.4s is in out. So with that approach, if you hover your mouse over it, the color would be changed very smoothly. Okay, so it is not a sudden change. It changes the color very smoothly with a very nice effect. So that part is done. Next, another thing that I can see is that the width of the container is too much than we should have. In the original layout, the width is too less than we have in our website. For that, let's reduce the width from 90 to 70 maybe, and let's see. No, 70 is now too low. Let's try 80. Yeah, it's fine now. It is better. Now, we need to complete the right section of the header. I'm going to collapse this section. Now I am going to add another ID to the right section, header call to, and we need to vertically align this section to the uh, middle. So I think we can just add the class that we created in the style.css, align items center. Yeah, that has moved this section to the middle with the help of the align items center style that we added with the help of this class. Okay, now we need to add a gap of 10 pixel or maybe 50 pixel between this section and this button section. So for that, add gap 50. Still no gap. Let me see. Actually, it is flex gap, not just gap. And we don't have 50 pixel, we have 20 pixel. So let's try start from the 20 pixel. Okay, I think uh, we should try 40 pixel. Okay, I think this gap is sufficient now. Next, uh, I'm going to add the proper text, find a store. And here I need to add this icon. So this is also an SVG icon. So I'm going to copy the code for this SVG file, and I am going to create another file with the name map marker.svg. And I have pasted this code here. Now I can use this SVG file as an image tag for that. There's something wrong with, okay, the path was wrong. We need to add SVG. Still not working. Let me see. Assets, images. It is working correctly here. Maybe something wrong with this SVG code. So instead of having it inside a file, I'm going to cut it and uh, I would use it here directly. You can use the SVG code directly as well. Now it is working here. I'm going to remove the SVG file now as we don't need it anymore. Now it is the height of the icon is too much. I am going to increase the width or height of it. For that, let's try 22 width and height. I think I think it is fine. Next, we need to vertically align them in middle because the icon is on top and the text is bit lower. For that, we need to add display flex here, and that made it better than before, but I still need to add a line item center. So for that, add a class dflex and align item center. Awesome. Next, we need to add some gap after the map icon, and I'm going to use flex gap 20. With that, we have this gap is too much. I need to reduce it to 10 pixels, and I think it is fine now. Next, we need to improve the font family and font size. Actually, entire website is going to use almost same font family. So instead of adding this font family every time to every div, I'm going to move this font family code to the top. Even I'm going to move out the font size as well to the top. So this would be the default font size for every text in our website. So, all right. Next, I need to see if I'm using the correct font size for the find a store button or link. I think it should be fine. Next, we need to add the sign in and join now buttons. So I'm going to make these buttons reusable. So I would just create it globally on the top. Okay, we have some buttons, but these are still not looking very good. Uh, Let me improve the padding. I think it is good. I need to change the background color, and we need to add the join now string in this button. So if we hover mouse over this button, the background color is changed a little bit to light gray. And the color change should be very smooth, like in this website, I guess. If not, we still have to make it smooth. For that, add transition, all 0.4 as ease in out. So this would make the animation very smooth for the background color change. We also need a proper gap between these two buttons. For that, uh, I'm going to add glass, deflex, and flex gap 10. Okay, that has added a gap between these two buttons. And we need to make the join the button dark one. For that, uh, I would add another class here, dot dark background color. And if we hover our mouse on that one, then it should just change the color to lighter dark tone. Okay, but colors is the text color is black. We need to change it to the white. All right. Still, we need to add a cursor pointer to these buttons. For that, uh, add cursor pointer. Okay. All right. I think it is looking better now. And from this, we can move on and start building to the footer. We will start building the footer now. And after footer is completed, then we will start working on the content. Before we continue working on the content section, uh, I think we should first make the header responsive first. The header should be responsive. So right now it is not fully responsive yet. For example, if you see my screen, I'm reducing the width of the screen, and you can see that layout is now broken. To fix it, we have to use media queries. There are other ways as well. For example, you can use Bootstrap, but as this is a simple CSS video, so I will just show you how to do it purely in CSS without using any other framework. So let's do it. So normally this is how it should work when when the width is less than some specific size, then uh, we should convert it to the mobile view. So for example, if after specific width, all of these things should be hidden except menu, and there should be a menu icon. And if you click on that, a vertical drop-down menu should be appeared, and you should be able to select your options from that drop-down menu. Okay, so let's do it. Now, so for example, if you click here, you will see all of the sizes. For example, I want to see the size of the iPad. So the size of the iPad is 820 pixels. So let's convert it to the mobile version after 820. So if size is less than 820, then we should convert into the mobile view. Okay, right now you can see that it is not looking good. So I think from this size we should convert it into the mobile view. So I am now going to display hide this section by using media query. So for before that, let's see what's going on inside the inspect element. So this is the logo section, this is the menu section, and this is hmm, I think we have to make some improvements in the structure because we want to hide everything except the logo. But right now you can see that menu is the part of the logo. But all of the menu should be hidden by default. So usually after logo, we consider everything after the logo as the menu. So even these two buttons are also part of the menu. So for that, let's see what we can do. So I'm going to move all of these things inside this main container or main container of the menu. So now these links and this other section is in the same div. So it will, for now, it will break the layout. So I have to fix it now. Go back and find the menu. Right now, it is very specific. It is saying that just change the styles for only that menu ID that is inside the header call one. So as it is not inside this call ID, so we have to remove this reference. Now you can see that styles are back, but we have to add display none in the mobile view. For example, from 820 pixel, we should display none. Now we are going to use media queries. Type media. So add and max width or yeah, max width. 820 pixels. So I, I'm using this width of this layout. Now, as soon as we touch this width, our screen size becomes 820 pixel. We will display the menu none for now. Okay, you can see that in this small size, the menu has been hidden, but if I increase the width, then you will see that menu is back. But right now it is a little bit broken. I mean, it is not aligned like before because we made some changes. So we have to fix those issues. For that, I'm going to check it. So, so the issue is that this menu should consume the available space because the main container is display flex, and the menu should automatically consume the available space, and to consume the available space we use uh, flex grow 1. This would consume all of the remaining space. So for example, logo is 51 pixel, and this one took 973 pixels automatically. So So that's mean we have to add flex grow 1 to menu. All right. Now it is looking fine again. Next, it is still not looking good yet in this size. Maybe we should hide the menu from from the larger size of the screen. For example, we should hide the menu if screen size becomes 970. Actually, let's see the device sizes. So these are the mostly used sizes. For example, this size 320 is for mobile devices, 481 is for iPads, 769 is for actually between 320 to 480 pixel is for mobile devices, and from 481 to 768 is for iPads and tablets, and from 769 to 1024 is for small screens like laptops. So I think if size is less than 1024 pixels, then we should convert the menu into the mobile menu. So let's update our condition in CSS for the media query. So as I want to use 1025 as the max width, so that's mean this style would be applied to the menu ID only if size is equal or less than 1025 pixel. If it is more than 10,025, then this style would not be applicable anymore. So you can see that it is hidden yet, and at this side it is visible again. So this is how media queries work, and we will keep using media queries more and more to make it fully responsive and perfect. Now, if it is in the in this form, then we should show this menu below to the header section, uh, stacked vertically. So for that, let's add some menu. Actually, for now, I'm not going to hide it. I am just going to change the design of the styles for the CSS to change the positioning. So I would say, for example, if it is not display none, then it would look like this. And I don't want to make it look like this. I want to display it vertically. I want to align items vertically. For that type, align items. Actually, flex direction should be used for flexbox. So I use flexed direction column that converted this horizontal menu into the vertical menu. Now I can style it further. So before I move on, I am going to copy paste this style, and you will see that if size is more than what we have specified, it looks like this. And after it hit the max width, then it converts into the vertical menu like this. We have to improve this menu further to look better. For that, we need to add the position absolute top. Top should be equal to the height of the menu header. Right now, the height of the header is, you would see here, the height is around 101 pixels. So top should be 101 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, now you can see that it is starting from here. Now inside the menu, we need a padding. Okay, padding is there, but the issue is that it should be on the left side, not at this location. So let's see what we can do about that. For that, you can see that it is actually because of the alignment. First of all, we need to have 100% width, because right now if you hover on it, you will see that it is only taking only 339 pixels of the width. So we need to make it 100%. For that, add width 100%. And now if you hover on it, you will see that it is taking consuming all of the space. So I'm going to add the width 100%. And I also have to add left 0%, 0 pixel, because you can see that it is starting from this position, and that is why it is going outside of the layout, and there is a scroll. We have to fix that. For that type, left 0 pixels. In this way, there is now no scroll, and it is perfectly in the center, or starting from the right 0, left 0, sorry. Okay, next I need to align them to the left. Align item, text align. Text align is not working on it, because the reason is that we have used align item center. That is why this is a flex class that is stopping it to go to align it to the left because of this styling. So we have to add align items left here to fix it. Align. No, it did not work. Let me see what is the issue. Uh, the reason is that line items. It should not be left. It is start something. Yeah. Now it is fine. Now we need to add padding left, because it is looking really bad, because it is touching to the edges. For that, I'm going to add some padding left. Actually, we should not add padding left, because we should add padding left to the menu items. So I'm going to add menu, padding left 20 pixels. Okay, it is looking better now, but still, maybe we should. Okay, I think this is fine for now. So next, we need to add padding left, same padding to the left of this section as well. So let's see what is the name of this section. The name of this section is header call to. We can call it something else. So because we made some changes in the structure of the element, so maybe it should be named with better ID. So instead of header call to, I am going to call it menu section 2. So this is the second section of the menu. This is the first section. This is the second section. Okay. So now here I will mention that section 2, and actually menu section and 8 element 8 tags, both of these things should have equal padding left. So I'm going to reuse the same style for both of these elements. Now you can see that it is also starting from this, but still it should be better than this. It should these three, actually these three are different things. This is a link to find a store. If you click on that, it would find a store for you through the maps. Right now we are not doing that, but if you make it dynamic, then it should behave like that. So, and if you, so this should be in a separate row, and all of these three items should be in three different rows. For that, I need to add flex direction column. Okay, with that, it is now behaving correctly, but it should be aligned to the left. Let's see what is stopping it to uh, bring it to the left. For that, you can see that on the location, we have align item center property. So we have to control that value. For that, type this location, and now you can type align item start or flex start. Nope, it did not work. Uh, it worked actually, but something is wrong. Let me see. Yeah. So actually, there was a property flex justify content flex, and that was pushing the content to the right side of the available space. So actually, you will understand it more if I add the width 100%. So now, okay, width is 100%, and now you can see that it is aligned in the middle. That is wrong. We have to, it is in the center because of this property align item center. So, so we have to add here justify content flex start. Oh, actually not justify, align items. Okay, now it is aligned to the right, but still there is a gap, a huge gap between these two items. We need to reduce that gap. For that, I'm trying to observe the issue, and the reason is that we added a 40 pixel of gap between these two items, between location and buttons. There is a 40 pixel of gap between these two items, and you can see it here. This is the 40 pixel gap. We need to remove all of the gap between these two elements. For that, we have to add gap 0 to the menu section too. Okay, now 0 is looking bad, so I am going to increase the gap a little bit to see if it look better. Yeah, it is getting better. So, okay, I think it's perfect now. It's fine to have two buttons in one row because these are looking good so far. So you can see the color change on hover, but we did not change the color of this thing location. So we have to change the color of the find a store as well on hover. For that, go back and find the location. Okay, so as you can see that these two styles are same, nothing is changing here. So I can actually reuse this line of code. So instead of writing it like this, you can save your code by reusing code. You can just add comma separated selectors. In this way, this same color would should be applied to both of these selectors. As you can see, it is still working fine. And I also should have added this here. Okay. Uh, it is not looking good. So actually, let's remove it from there. I would add another uh, style for transition for location. For that, I would use transition color 0.4 as easy now. Okay, you can see it is working perfectly fine now, and now I can also add cursor pointer because there was no cursor pointer here. No, actually not here. I should have added the cursor here. Now it looks like a link when you hover a mouse. Okay, now next thing is that we should add the menu icon here. So for that, I'm going to get SVG for the menu icon. So this is I'm going to use this stylish menu icon, and I would download the SVG file. Okay, this is SVG file. I'm going to save it in a new file. In the images section, I'm going to create a file with the name menu.svg and paste it. Now I can just use the image tag and use this path. For that, in the menu section, I'm going to add image source, assets, images, menu. So you can see we have menu icon, but it is too large. We cannot use it in this condition. We have to fix it. And also I'm going to move it top to the header. Now I'm going to reduce the size of this icon. For that, type width 30 pixels maybe. I think 30 pixels is fine. Now when I need to adjust the positioning of this icon, for that add the ID, and in the styling I am going to add the position absolute to this. Position absolute, right, 20 pixels. And if I don't add position, let's see what happens. Or maybe let me try to add it after this logo to see what happens to it. Okay. I think this is better. It is better to have it at this position, and instead of right 20 I'm going to add margin left auto. This would push it to the right section of the layout. Okay, now it is looking good. We should improve it like this. If you click on the menu icon, then it should open, toggle the drop down menu. For example, if you click, it should open, and if you click on it again, it should hide it. And there should be a cursor icon when you hover it. For that, add there should be a pointer cursor when you hover it. And if I close it, you would see that menu icon is still here. It should be hidden in the in the non-mobile view. So for example, mobile view starts from here. So by default, I'm going to display none to the menu icon, and I would display block when mobile view screen size is started. For that, I'm going to add this and menu icon, position absolute. Oh, we don't need position absolute. We just need display block because it was displayed none earlier. Okay, now if you start to reduce the width, you will see that menu icon is visible. If you increase the width, the menu icon would be hidden. Okay, and next thing that we need to implement is that uh, this drop down menu should be hidden by default. It should not be visible if you did not click on this. It should be open if you click on this. So for that, I'm going to add display none property, or mm, f- okay, for now I'm going to add display none. And when you click on it, not here, I want to add display none. Actually, no display none. Yeah, in the mobile view, it should be display none by default, and it should be visible only if you click on the menu button. This video is not about the JavaScript. This video is only about CSS and HTML. But as we need to uh, implement this click behavior, so for the sake of this small feature, we must have to use JavaScript. So don't worry, it would not be very tricky. You can, if even if you don't understand what I'm doing, you can just copy paste my code. I'm going to add just few lines of code in JavaScript to make it possible. So in the script tag, we need to add script tag at the bottom. And in the script tag, I'm going to get the element uh, where I want to add class. So also I'm going to use the menu icon. I would register an event listener to it, document.query selector, and dot. Or actually, you can just a simpler solution is that you can just add on click event here and call a function toggle menu. We will just create this function, and now I'm going to get this menu by using document dot get element by ID, and I would check the class list of this menu. If menu dot class list dot includes uh, or class list would contain the array of the classes, I would say. If active so for example, if I get document dot get element by ID, then so you can see it is giving me the list of the all of the classes that are assigned to this element. And in this we have some functions. For example, we have contains, so we can use, there is no includes function uh, in it, but there is a contains. So if I would say if there is deflex class in it, then it would tell me true false. As deflex is in the list of the classes, so it is giving me true. If you add such a class name that is not on your element, it would give you false. So we can use this thing. I am saying if menu has active class on it, then I would just remove the active class. We just have to add and remove the classes, and not much. We are not going to add any more rocket science on it. So just this simple thing. I I am going to tell it that please remove the active item from this class list. And if active class does not exist in the list of the classes on this element, menu element, then I would add active class in this class list. Now let's see if class is being added or not. I'm going to inspect it to see if it is working or not. So this is the menu. If I click on that, you should see active class on this list of the classes. You can see that active class is added as soon as I clicked on this menu icon. If you click it again, it should remove the active class. So that is only that we had to do with the JavaScript. That's it. We don't have to write more JavaScript. Now we need to control everything from the CSS. Okay. So now by default, so as we the active class is being added perfectly, by default we should hide this menu. For that, I would add display none. So first I will show you a simple method, then after that I will show you how to improve it by adding animation on it to make it more interesting. So add display none, and by default it would remove it from the UI, even if you click on it or not. Now if you click on it, as we know that it adds a class active, so I would highlight that menu.active and type display block. So this is the simplest way to show the menu by clicking on menu button. Actually, we don't want to use display block because we are using display flex. So now if I click on it, you can see that menu is being shown and hidden perfectly. But we want to make it more interesting. For that, we need to add animation. So to add animation, I'm going to create two animation keyframes. First one would be show menu, and second one would be hide menu. So by default, I would remove the display none from it, and I would assign the animation to this menu. So there would be two states of the animation. First would be animation. So by default, we will assign hide menu and speed and direction. I would use the type of the animation. I said that it should be forwards. And now by default, it should start uh, from the right side. So from it should be hidden to the right side and should appear from the right side to the left direction. For that, I would use 0%. Actually, so I am going to define the animation for the hide menu first. For that, for example, if it is visible, then it should start from the left to the right. For that, at 0% means at the first state, uh, it is visible, and the width would be 100%, and translate transform translate x is 0%. Okay, and when it is reached to 99% of the animation duration, then width would still stay 100%, but transform would become translate x 100%. Now, if it becomes 100%, then everything would stay same, but just width would become 0 so that we could hide it totally, because otherwise it would stay on the right out of the available space. That would cause the scroll. We don't want any horizontal scroll, and as it is going to, yeah. So as we are going to reduce the width from 100 to 0%, so there is still content inside the menu that would cause trouble. So we just want to hide everything that is going outside of the boundaries of the menu. So I would add this overflow hidden. So now the code for hiding is done. The code for showing menu would also be almost same, but in reverse direction. So instead of in the on the 0 state, it would start from the hidden to the so when it is showing, that's mean it was hidden before, and it is now showing from the invisible state to the visible state. So at 0%, we want to tell it to start from the invisible state. So Invisible state is width 0% and transform 100%, and one and at 1% the width should become 100% suddenly, but transformation should stay 100%. Yeah, so it would still not be visible, but the width should be recovered at 1%, and at 99% width should stay same. At 100% width would stay same, but transition would become 0%. And now I can use it. So by default, I'm using animation hide menu, and on active, I would just add this animation show menu. Now let's see. I'm going to reload it. Okay, so you can see that it is working perfectly fine and very smooth, and there is no scroll on the right or left side. That's mean it is getting hidden after it is moved to the right direction. You can even see I hovered my mouse on the menu element, and on the left side there's a tooltip telling you the width of the menus. The width of the menu is 0%, 0 pixels, so that's mean it is working as we are expecting. If you want to see the existing state of the keyframe of the animation, you can just go to the styling section of the Google Chrome, and on the bottom you would see keyframe hide menu. So this is showing you the currently state of the hide menu that is applied currently. So it is telling you it was started from 0% and ended on 100%, and when it animation ends, then the width becomes 0% and transforms becomes translate x 100%. That's how it is working. Very simple. So okay, so by default it is like this, and in the mobile it gets hidden and you can show it like this. Okay, that's it. Next, let's see what else we need to do. So our header is mobile friendly now, very user friendly, mobile friendly. You can use it in any size of mobile. Even I can show you in a very small screen. For example, if you want to test in iPhone XHR or something like that, look at this. It is working in the mobile devices fine. If you open in iPhone 12 Pro, refresh it. Okay, you can see it is working perfectly fine in iPhone 12 Pro as well. Okay, you can test in other devices like Pixel 5. It is working fine in Pixel 5. And if you click on Samsung Galaxy S20, it will still work fine. So perfect, it is fine now. Okay, next, after that, we need to implement the content section. So we will implement in the next video. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.